Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates for only like $5 a month. These are very important, and in this video I'm going to talk about why. If you look at this update right here, as you can see, I basically told you like almost, well, not 2 months ago, but 1 month ago, that Bitcoin will most likely bounce right here. And what you know, right now it is bouncing. It's pretty much doing exactly what I told you it will. But we'll get to that later. Right now, we have a Fed decision. The Fed decision is that, well, they are still, keeping QT. We are still in QT. We are not starting QE. And even though the news have been pretty bad, the market is going up. And I told you yesterday, the altcoin season does not need to happen during QE. It happened during QT in the 2017 cycle. And people seem to forget about that all the time. But I keep telling you, what Bitcoin dominance needs to do is find some kind of top, and maybe it has already topped, I don't know. Like I said, it could get to 66% before it actually tops, but we got to 65% right now, and the top could already be in. Obviously, we need to break below the bull market support band and the 200-day moving average in order to be able to confirm that. But yeah, I told you yesterday, in order to get something like this, we don't really need to be in QE, and if you think we need to, just look at what happened in 2017. Now, before I talk about that, I also want to talk about the merchandise. Make sure to check out the third wave t-shirts and hoodies and stuff like that, because, well, it's funny. And yeah, that's it about that. And right now, going to the Cardano chart, as you can see on the weekly chart, we actually are above the moving average on the RSI, which is very good. Now, obviously, we also need to close above it. So if we get rejected right now, and if we break below it, or actually even if we get above it right now, if we close above it, then we'll need to retest it like we did right here, and that could give us the third wave of the third wave. So that's what the t-shirts are for. And yeah, the market is finally moving up again, which is good. Cardano right now, we're still waiting for the cross on the bull market support band, as you know from my previous videos. And let's go on the 4-hour chart. Let's talk about the short term for a minute, because why not? So right now we are still, in a second wave move down. I cannot confirm that the low is in until we actually get above the first wave high right here, which is currently at 74.7 cents. Then if we get above that, the next target will be the third wave of this 1-2 setup, and that is at 85.8 cents. That's the 1.618 of this 1-2 setup. And well, yeah, that's also above the bull market support band and above the 200-day moving average. So getting above these will be very bullish, and also that's going to give us a faster cross on the bull market support band, because we'll do something like this. And yeah, from the past, that's obviously very bullish. If you look at what happened here, when, by the way, I was making videos back here and I was telling you that if we get a cross on the bull market support band, it will most likely lead to a very big bounce, because that's exactly what happened before this. As you can see right here, we had a cross, and well, we did nothing for a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden we just did this. And yeah, I told you back I think last year in June that this is most likely gonna happen again, and it happened again, of course. So right now we're just waiting for the exact same thing. It's the exact same pattern every single time, and people are still confused for some reason. I have no idea why they are confused, but yeah, right now we're still trying to form a big 1-2 setup here, and this is the 1-2 setup of the main, well, of the third wave of the third wave. And of this 1-2 setup right now, we only have a 1-2 setup and another 1-2 setup. So basically we are working on the third wave of that 1-2 setup, and well, the third wave is of the first wave. And I'm sorry if I'm confusing you, but to me it makes sense. So let me say it again. We are right now in a 1-2 setup. We are working on the third wave. We need to go in a fourth wave move down after that, and a fifth wave move up. That will complete this third wave. Then we will need a fourth wave move down again and a fifth wave move up. And once we get these 5 waves, that will complete the first wave of the third wave right here, which is the third wave of the bigger third wave. So yeah, after that, of course, we can expect an ABC down, which is gonna be the second wave, and then after that we are waiting for the third wave of the third wave of the third wave. And as you know, that's usually the most impulsive one, so that's why we have a t-shirt for it. We have been talking about that wave for many months at this point, probably almost 1 year. And even this 1-2 setup, this big 1-2 setup that we had had on the chart right now. I've had this on the chart for probably ever since I started making the videos. I always told you that in order to get the main third wave right here, we would need to first form a 1-2 setup of that third wave, and well, what do you think happened? We formed that 1-2 setup. So yeah, I also want to talk about Ethereum for a second, because Ethereum, what it's doing is also important. As you can see, it's going up again. Now, I'm still not gonna admit defeat until it actually gets back above $2,100 right here and finally breaks this downtrend. If it does do that, then I'm just gonna say that the low is already in, because, well, we broke out of the downtrend. Obviously, I mean, there's still work to do. I mean, we still need to get back above the bull market support band, but I think that's gonna happen very soon, just because it looks like the bull market support band is about to have a cross, and when that happens, usually at least Ethereum gets at least some kind of short-term bounce. So I'm still waiting for something like that to happen. I mean, here we went from like $2,700 all the way up to like $4,000, and here we went from, let's see, about $2,000 all the way up to like $4,000. So I'm waiting for Ethereum to finally wake up, and once it wakes up, Bitcoin dominance will start breaking down. But yeah, I mean, this could take some time. Right now it's May 8th, so we still have some time. I told you that Bitcoin will most likely be at $140,000 by the end of the second week of June, and I told you that, I mean, almost 2 months ago. If you look at this, and if you look at what I said right here, Bitcoin in August of 2023, it dropped 22%, it went to $25,000, and the RSI on the weekly, it went to 44, so as you can see right here. Then what happened after that in 2024, it went down 32%, went to $50,000 this time, and the RSI went to 44, I mean, just like right here. And what happened after that? What happened this year? It went down 30%, dropped to 75k, the weekly RSI went to 44. And well, it's the exact same pattern every single time, and I told you that this is most likely gonna lead to a very big bounce on the Bitcoin charts, just because, I mean, it happened before and it's gonna happen again. And what do you know, if you look at the, well, weekly Bitcoin chart right now, it's doing exactly what I told you it will do. And I know people do not want to, you know, give me credit for this, but I mean, just look at this, just look at where it bounced, and it bounced exactly at the RSI level that I told you it will bounce. And yeah, right now we're still waiting for it to go higher and higher. Now, when is it gonna stop going up? I have no idea. Maybe in this cycle we're not gonna have a summer drop, just because, I mean, so far, for example, from this low to this low, Bitcoin went to this high. I'm sorry, Bitcoin went up about 133 days. Maybe if you take this high right here, you could say that it went up about 170 days. So maybe right now we're doing the exact same thing. Maybe from this low, Bitcoin will go up about 170 days before actually getting some type of correction. And I mean, the same thing happened over here after the first correction of the cycle, the 22% correction. It went up for about 6 months. So maybe this is what we're doing, and maybe people were right. Maybe in this cycle, Bitcoin will not get a summer drop. Even if that's the case, I'm still expecting the RSI, not the RSI, but the moving average on the weekly RSI to be tested at some point, or at least the bull market support band to be tested, because that's exactly what happens, I mean, every single time. Now, don't expect the correction to take too long, and maybe we don't even get it right now, but at some point I think we will get it, and it's only a matter of time until we do. I mean, we got it over here and it took like a week, and as you can see, during that time we also had a cross in the bull market support band. So usually the correction happens before we get a cross, and right now we have not had a cross, at least not yet, so it could happen very, very soon. But don't expect it to be, you know, anything too significant, and don't expect us to break below the bull market support band and stay there for too long, because we already, you know, broke above it, and at least judging this by what happened in the past, Bitcoin will most likely stay above it and still hit $140,000 by the end of the second week of June. And what happens after that is still unknown. I mean, it could theoretically continue going up until, let's see, about October, and then in October we drop, and we drop back to about $100,000 to continue this pattern of the lows. So here this was 25k, the next one was 50k, and the third one was 75k, which means that the fourth one will most likely be 100k. And is that gonna happen? I have no idea. Is the pattern going to continue repeating itself? Maybe, but maybe not. I mean, so far I think I have been pretty right about this. I think I pretty much called everything there is to call about Bitcoin, which means that at some point my Bitcoin dominance prediction will most likely play out as well. And I know it has not played out exactly like I told you it will because, well, I am not a prophet and I don't have a crystal globe. I have no idea what will happen. I mean, I can, use the data and tell you what could happen, but I have no idea if the market is actually going to follow what I say. But all I know is that at some point Bitcoin dominance will start breaking down just like it did right here and just like it did right here. So for those who believe that the altcoin season has already happened, I mean, where exactly do you see it right here? Because I cannot see it and maybe I'm blind, but then again, I mean, when I look at the chart, it has been going up for 2.5, actually 3.5 years at this point, I think. Well, no, almost 3 years. So at some point it is gonna break down and maybe that's now, we'll see, we'll just have to wait for that. And well, that's it about Bitcoin and Ethereum. Also, we need to look at the S&P 500 chart right now because this is also important. Yes, it is relevant. It's currently at the bull market support band and there's some resistance over here. If we do not manage to break back above it, I mean, we could get rejected and a rejection would lead to a correction even in the crypto market. So please be careful and please also look at the chart right here because it is important. Now, I've talked about the S&P 500 many times in the past, well, not that many times, but basically all you need to know about this chart is that it got to the oversold territory on the weekly chart, and the last time we did that was about right here in June of 2022, and after that we had a big bounce. And I mean, when I look at what we did, each time we got to the oversold territory, even here we got to the oversold territory, and then after that it went up quite a lot. And I think I actually looked at this chart in a video and I looked at pretty much the entire history, and each time it got to the oversold territory that gave us a really nice pump, and right now it got to the oversold territory again. So I think it's about to get above the bull market support band. I don't think we are in a left translated peak by any means. I don't think the cycle is over like some YouTubers like to say. I think they have no idea what they are talking about, and honestly, if you listen to people who tell you that Bitcoin will most likely top at $140,000. I mean, I think these people have no idea what they're talking about. And when you look at the chart and you look at what Bitcoin did in the past, $140,000 would be the most disappointing top of all time. I still think it's gonna get above $250,000 by the end of the year. And if you do not want to agree with me, that's fine. But so far, my Bitcoin predictions have been pretty accurate. So maybe they're gonna be wrong at some point. I don't think so, but we'll see. Maybe you could say that my ego is very, very big, but then again, maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just, talking, from experience, and maybe I know what I'm actually talking about. And Cardano, I mean, it's still waiting. It's still in the exact same pattern that it was in the previous cycle. It's the exact 1-to-1-2 setup. I've been talking about this every single day for the past year. I think I'm slowly going insane, but at some point, and of course, this is not financial advice, but at some point, it is gonna go up just because Ethereum will most likely continue going up after it actually gets above the $2,100 level. And when that happens, I think it's going to have a much bigger pump, which is going to lead to a Bitcoin dominance move to the downside. And yeah, speaking of Bitcoin dominance, like I said, it's almost, at 66%. So maybe this is what we're waiting for. We are waiting for it to get to 66%. And then after that, we could finally start the third wave of the third wave. So please do not only be bullish when the other people are bullish, please also be bullish when the market is going down. I mean, I've been making videos, since this entire correction started, even, since this correction right here, and people like to really hate in the comments when these corrections happen, and then when we get a move like this, everybody, new people come to the channel and they start subscribing and liking, and then after the, move to the upside stops, that's when they unsubscribe from the channel or from the Patreon, or they start leaving negative comments, and that's just, idiotic in my opinion, but it is what it is. And I mean, that happens every single cycle, so it is kind of normal. I'm not blaming you because I mean, there are probably people who bought right here and right now they are pretty much in a loss, but I don't think this is gonna last. And if you do not sell, then I think it's gonna be just fine. Of course, not financial advice, but we are still waiting for Bitcoin dominance to drop, and I still think that Cardano will most likely top somewhere between $5 to $8. So yeah, again, do not get bullish when the other people are getting bullish. actually you should actually get bearish when the other people are too bullish, because that's exactly what happened over here in the first wave of the third wave. I mean, I was telling you, I think I even have a video on the channel that says in the title, please do not FOMO in. And one thing happened after I posted that video. Cardano pretty much did this right here, and yeah, that's all you need to know. So please do not FOMO in. Once we actually start the third wave of the third wave, maybe consider buying stuff when it's in the support zone like it is right now. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this yapping session, and yeah, consider checking out the YouTube memberships and the Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates for only like $5 a month. Also check out the third wave of the third wave merchandise. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.